What's happening? It's your boy SymbolicSportsaholic bringing you another great edition. Actually, the last edition of NFL Weekly Predictions. I'll still do playoff coverage probably. It's been a fun NFL season with you guys. I'm in the Super Bowl, obviously in the fantasy football, and I won the first week of it. Looks like an exciting second week. I don't know how things will turn out with all the injured players and all the players sitting next week. But we got some interesting games here, and what looks to be a pretty exciting playoff year. I mean, any team can really win it at this point. I'm still sticking with Denver and Seattle in the Super Bowl. Um, but there's a lot of great teams throughout both conferences. So yeah, the regular season has finally weeded out all the bad teams, and things are getting going. I don't know how long this video will be. I didn't have time to make pictures again this week. But yeah, let's get going with the picks. My three games of the week are the Green Bay Packers facing the Minnesota Vikings, mainly because they're both playoff teams, and it'll be not only is it a division rivalry, a lot's on the line especially for Minnesota, so look for a good game there. And then my second best game of the week is the Houston Texans taking on the Indianapolis Colts, another divisional rivalry between two playoff teams. And then my third game of the week has nothing to do with the playoffs, but it's going to be a high-octane offensive shootout, and that'll be the Carolina Panthers visiting the New Orleans Saints. And so those are some games to watch for you guys. My lock pick of the week is the Broncos over the Chiefs. No upset there. And then a coin toss game of the week is Bengals and Ravens. I do think the Bengals will win, but I'll get into that later. And then my upset pick of the week is the Vikings plus 3.5 against the Green Bay Packers. I think the Vikings will win that game outright. Should be an interesting one, though. A lot of players are back for Green Bay this week. I hear Jordy Nelson should be back. We'll see what happens. But let's get on with the picks. First off, we have the New York Jets playing the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Jets need to just clean slate next year. They need to close shop and just start fresh. They need a new quarterback, new coaches. The Jets fans are pretty fed up with them. I would be too. And, Buffalo has a pretty solid run game, and their pass game isn't too bad. A lot of people underestimate it. Their defense is absolutely horrible. The only reason I would consider the Jets to win this game is their defense has been the only thing that's been consistent with that organization all year. I'm going to go ahead and take Buffalo at home. This game's going to be really cold up there in Buffalo. I mean, they're both in New York. Technically, the Jets play in New Jersey, but, let's not get too picky there. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills, though, in this one. That's a really good game, though. No one really cares about it, but that'll be a fun one. Now we have the Eagles taking on the New York Giants. The Giants, let's just say they're out of the playoffs. They're going to need to win and have, three other teams lose as well. I'm going to say that their playoff hopes are done. I look for LaShawn McCoy to actually have a pretty big game here. But the Giants, I don't know, they fell apart at the end. Looks like they won't upset the Patriots in the Super Bowl again this year. But you never know. We've been against them before. There's no reason they could defy all odds again this week. But I just don't see it happening. But I still like the Giants to win at their season finale at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. Next, we have the Cleveland Browns taking on my Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field. Both teams eliminated from playoff contention, but Cleveland has had a positive year. They're taking a step in the right direction, and the Steelers this year kind of took a step in the wrong direction. I really am not too worried about this team. It'll take them a couple years to rebuild to be a powerhouse again. But, us Steelers fans have been spoiled in the past, especially in the 70s and the early 2000s. I think we should just, enjoy the season. I know this game doesn't count for anything, but it'd be fun to get revenge against the Browns. I'm going to take the Steelers at home. Hopefully they get some good chemistry going. Yeah, and just win one for me. It's last game of the year for us Steelers fans, so yeah. Sorry if your teams aren't making the playoffs this year. It's the last time you're going to see them until next year, so feel bad for you guys. It's kind of sad. The season blew by fast. But anyways, let's get on to the next pick. The Houston Texans taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Last time the Texans squeaked out a win against the Colts, but the Colts did not look good last week. I think they almost lost to the Chiefs. They won on a last-second drive. I'm going to take the Texans in this one, although the Texans aren't a very good road team. Well, yeah, they're good, but they're not an elite road team. I still like them to beat the Colts, even with Chuck Pagano's return. The Texans are very interesting. I think they might sit Arian Foster this week, but that doesn't really scare me too much. I'm going to take the Texans in this one. Now we have the Buccaneers and the Falcons. This one could get interesting. The Falcons already clinched their first round bye. Tampa Bay's been losing a lot lately, which kind of worries me a bit. They haven't scored offensively in a while. Josh Freeman has been absolutely terrible. But the Falcons, since they clinched their first seed in the NFC, I have a feeling they're going to sit a ton of players. So that could totally affect the outcome of this game. I'm still going to take the Falcons just because of how bad the Bucs have been doing the last 2 weeks. But it could be an interesting game. I would not be surprised one bit if the Buccaneers won that game. But, Matt Ryan is extremely good in the Georgia Dome there in Atlanta, so I like the Falcons at home. Everyone plays better at home, so I'll take the Falcons again. I picked a lot of home teams this week. It's really hard to pick Week 17 games because of all of the sitting players. But, you got to play it by ear, and I'm basing this off of my knowledge of the game and how I think things will turn out, regardless of who sits or not. All right, so here we got the Cowboys taking on the Redskins Monday night. This game is the winner of this game wins the NFC East. This is a huge, huge game. I would put it on my games of the week, but of course I don't put Monday or Sunday night or Thursday night football games on must see because you should, if you're a huge NFL fan, you should probably be watching them anyways. But yes, this game is intense. I like the Redskins to win this game at home. I've never been a huge believer in the Cowboys. They lost last week to the Saints, and how I see it, the Redskins are like the Saints, except for they have a run game. That's the only difference between them. Excuse me. But yeah, I like the Redskins definitely to win that game. Eric Mangini said Dallas is for sure going to win that game, though, so that gets me a little surprised. Eric Mangini knows his football. I know he's not a current NFL head coach, and he didn't have much success in the NFL, but that's because he got the Browns and the Jets to coach. I mean, how more unlucky could he get? This guy's a good coach, so I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas wins, but I am going to watch that game, as all of you should. It's going to be great. Now we have a game that only Southerners really care about. The Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Titans sort of have fallen off of the radar here towards the end of the year. It looks like another rebuilding year for them. But Jacksonville is always rebuilding. I don't know if Jacksonville is going to try to take the loss and hope the Chiefs beat the Broncos, but we all know that's not going to happen. So I look for the Jacksonville Jaguars to try hard in this game, but I like the Tennessee Titans at home. Steelers lost to Tennessee at home, so I don't see why they can't beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a fairly decent team, probably one of the better 2-15 teams I've ever seen. 2-15. I mean 2-13. But yeah, I'll take the Titans at home. Now we have the Panthers and the Saints. I look for Cam Newton and Drew Brees to put up huge fantasy numbers. This game's going to be all offense, no defense, so this is a fun one to watch. I like the Saints at home. I think Drew Brees does better under pressure. It's a divisional game, so, the Saints just got news that Sean Payton will be their head coach for the next 5 years. So I think they are in a good mood, and I think they'll go out and win this game. Ron Rivera really has no place in the NFL, in my opinion. I don't believe in his playbook or, really in him at all. I still believe in Cam Newton's athleticism, though. Don't get me wrong, but that should be a great game to watch. I'm taking the Saints. Now we have the Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. I do not think ADP will beat the record now since he didn't get over 100 yards last week. I still think he'll have a good game. I still like the Vikings to win because they don't turn over the ball as much, and their defense is a lot stronger than Green Bay. You got to look it up. They're pretty similar defensively, but I don't know about the Packers. I don't see them winning a Super Bowl again this year. They could make it deep in the playoffs. You never know. They have a lot of weapons, but I don't know. Their season has been kind of iffy for me. I think the Vikings definitely would win the most improved season team award. Maybe the Colts in the AFC and the Vikings in the NFC, but definitely the Vikings have turned things around. They're looking like they did in 2009, but now they have a decent quarterback. So we'll see what happens. I'm probably going to make an awards video on who I think deserves certain awards, because you know how the NFL makes the MVP, Coach of the Year, all that. I'm going to make my picks, and I'm going to show them to you guys. Look for that maybe next week sometime. Over Christmas break here, I'll probably try to, record some of that. Now I'm going to try to get through most of this quick. I'm already going way over my time. We have the Ravens and the Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals at home. The Ravens are not a real threat to anybody, really. I don't even know how they win games sometimes. Their offense is ranked low. Their defense is ranked low. I do like John Harbaugh. I think he's a good guy, but I like the Bengals. They are looking good this month. Now we have the Bears and the Lions. The Lions are done with. I'm taking the Bears. Even though they're on the road, the Bears have to win to get a playoff chance. Then we have the Dolphins taking on the Patriots. The Patriots are going to try to get a first-round bye, so they need to win. I look for them to turn on the Jets here and win. The Raiders taking on the San Diego Chargers. I think the Chargers will win, even though North Turner's great in November, but I mean, he's probably going to get fired this offseason. So I like the Chargers nonetheless. Then we have the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be a good game, but the Seahawks are just on a whole nother level compared to any other team. They have running offense, passing offense, quarterback can run. They got good defense, good secondary. I mean, they got it all. Good special teams. I look for them to win the Super Bowl. I really do. All right, now we have the Chiefs and the Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos, no questions asked. And then Cardinals and the 49ers is the last game, and I'm going to pick the 49ers. I don't really have to explain that one. Cardinals don't have an offense. All right, guys, we'll keep it 100, Woodies. You heard me?